forward.
Welcome back to the second segment of the Griffith Family Foundation show, and today we're going to be talking with two good friends from the MS Society. Want to introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, I'm Sharon O'Keefe, and I'm the Senior Development Manager here in our Altoona area.
Wonderful.
And I'm Tim Surkovich. I am the president and founder of the Project Diagnosis Foundation, and I'm basically here to support Team Project Diagnosis for the MS Society for the BikeMS.
And when is this BikeMS?
It's going to be held on July 18th and 19th. It starts at the Hollidaysburg Senior High School, and then it goes 2 days, 150 miles, 75 miles each day. Asked him, he did it last year and did very well. Survived it.
Yeah.
Survived it.
He said I challenged him. I didn't remember doing that, but I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Wow.
But he did it. He did did a nice job.
So Tim, you want to tell the audience what it's like to train for the race and to participate?
Grueling. No, it's a different type of training, I guess, for me than it would be for the avid bike rider type thing. Having MS for 25 years, I have to work a little harder. So I spend a lot more time in the gym preparing for it. But I would say that, you know, the average rider, you know, they have a routine on the site that has, you know, this is how you should train for it. You should ride so many miles this day and this hard or whatever. I have my own routine. But this year I'm trying to step up my game and formed a team instead of doing it on my own.
Oh, that's great. And how many are on your team?
Right now there's just 3 of us, but I know there's another one coming, and I'm desperately trying to get my son to do it with me so he gets his 1,000 miles in.
And when you say a team, so you guys would break up the segments, or would they just bike with you the whole 150?
They bike with you the whole 150.
I was hoping the team would mean you could break it up into segments.
Nah, just to raise more money.
That's great.
And
that's great.
Just to clarify, Cathy, it's not a race.
Okay.
Honestly, it's more of a, you know, just a ride. You go out, you ride your bicycle, you support the MS Society, but you do it at your own pace. Yes, we have teams who are out there and who come in first every time. Talk to Brian Caparucci at Spokes Skis. Brian and them are usually they're usually there probably on Saturday between 11:30, 12 o'clock, and Sunday they're always back early too. But the remaining balance of the cyclists, which we have on an average, you know, anywhere between 575 cyclists. Last year I think we actually rode 475, but the year before we rode 575. So this year the numbers are trending up. So I'm projecting we should probably be close to the 550 range, but it's basically, you know, we have at least about 35 teams that sign up. 60% of our cyclists come from the Pittsburgh area.
Wow.
Yes.
I know one year our Griff's Run and Gun dinner was held the same weekend, and the hotels were booked solid.
Yes.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And what's the history on the bike race? When did this all start?
We're actually in our 20th year. We're celebrating 20 years this year.
Here, right in Blair County.
Yes.
Then. Okay, that's great. Is this your biggest? I know you have something in the fall too, don't you? Like with
Lobster Fest, and we have the
yes.
Ann Barnes Golf Tournament. But this is our largest fundraiser.
That's great.
It's just, you know, when Marcia was here, she was like, it was in its 9th year, and it raised about, you know, 200,000. But now we're close, you know, to the 500,000 range.
That's great.
You know, a lot of people. What's so good about it is it really brings in business because like you said, Friday night, the Marriott's booked.
Solid.
The Comfort Inn's booked.
They were all booked.
The Hampton Inn's booked.
And they booked them the whole year ahead.
Right.
I found that out.
Then Marzoni's is usually packed.
Right.
Because everybody, between Marzoni's and then the other restaurants.
Well, that's what it, so much of this stuff that these nonprofits like yourself, like us with the Griffith Family Foundation, bringing people from all over, and fighting, whether it's MS, whether it's pancreatic cancer, whatever the case may be. We're all in the fight together. We're all in the fight together, because any way you look at it, it's all just we need to fight back. Mm-hmm. So, Tim, with your Project Diagnosis, you started this foundation 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are you planning to do any event on your own like you did the one, a year ago or so?
I'm working on it.
Yeah,
we have an idea, but it's just managing to put it together. I'm trying to do something that would involve at the college level. That's all I'll say. I don't want to give too much away. So
I think the awareness that you have really raised too with videos. You want to tell the audience, your son, didn't he do a video, Project Diagnosis video I saw?
We have a number of different videos. We have from the CD we have the video Glimmer of Hope, and we have the video As I Am. My son is going to do one this summer for the song Take Up the Fight. Mm-hmm. It's going to be more of a conceptual type video, not so much with the band. But that's no promises. We'll just see what happens.
See what happens.
Yeah, he just did a video though for a promotional video for the bike ride. That I had a number of people ask me the day after I released it what professional company I had do it. And,
it was really, really good. I watched it. It was phenomenal. And so, I think back to, say, a diagnosis of pancreatic cancer. No matter what the diagnosis, whether it's MS or cancer, what's really nice that what I see with you is that when patients are newly diagnosed, you are searching anything you can, as you did, I'm sure, when you were diagnosed. And when we looked, we didn't find a lot other than for Dr. Randy Pausch of the last lecture. There wasn't really a lot out there for us to kind of, navigate. What you've done just amazes me, that if a patient is newly diagnosed, you've given that patient hope by seeing you race and doing 150 miles with MS.
Well, I'm not the only one. There are other riders that do it too.
There are, but I know I've met different MS patients too, and you've taken it to another stratosphere. So kudos to that, because I know how when you're compromised, that's hard. It's not like you're feeling good. And as you mentioned the last time on the show, there are times you have what's called like flares. Have you had many of those lately, or you've been okay?
For the most part, I'm in check.
Good.
I had a small flare on my right arm not too long ago, but it's, as I was explaining to my wife last night, it's not new. Mm-hmm. So when I say it's not new, these are things I've had before. It's not so. If, like, say for example, my right leg would go numb. That's never happened before. That would be a new flare, and that would mean the disease is progressing. Where everything that is happening to me, as far as flares, like that's the first flare I've had in a long time.
Good.
Everything else that you see where like I'm struggling more to walk, I get tired more, that type of stuff, that is damage that has happened a long time ago.
Right, so nothing new.
Yeah, so what happens is there's, on the brain or in the spinal column, where the damage happens, the sclerosis, where the scar tissue forms on the nerve, the signal has a harder time getting through year after year. So I have to work harder to walk, and it just I get more tired. But it's really weird. I can't walk, and I struggle going up and down steps and everything, but yet I can pedal a bike.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
What, for a patient or a person out there in the audience, if they are not aware of what MS is, what are some of the first symptoms that MS, what, if you both want to share, we'll start with you, Sharon, what should patients be, you know, if this could possibly be a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis?
What I always am told, or if I get a phone call and a person's in a panic, a lot of times it's temporary blindness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that a sign for you?
No.
What was your first sign?
My whole left side went numb.
Wow. Just out of the blue.
Yep. I thought I slept wrong. And when I went to the ER, they went berserk because they thought I had a stroke.
You see a lot, you get a lot of that too, that people think it is a stroke?
It does have a lot of similarity. My sister has MS, and wasn't officially diagnosed, but she had like Bell palsy. So her whole like right side went down.
Wow.
And you're just like, wow. And
wow.
You know, she's a young lady. So.
Right. Are we in an area, do we see a high incidence here in Blair County?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Through western Pennsylvania in itself, there's a lot of MS. We have right now, we cover 56 counties. We have over 14,000 people within our 56 counties who have MS. And that's not everybody coming forth either. So that's a lot of people.
How many people nationwide have MS?
Probably over 400,000.
Okay. And so we've got close to, would you say 14,000?
Yes.
Here in Blair County?
No. Within our 56 counties.
Oh, I was going to say, wow.
Yeah, no. No.
I had to think
in Blair
about
County,
that.
I'm going to give you a rough number. I'm going to say around 300.
Okay, so 300, but in the 56 counties, okay.
14,000, yes.
Wow, that's high.
Yeah, it is high.
That's high.
Western PA is about 7,500, and then if you go to the east, where we also cover now, it's the balance.
Wow. And is there any way to prevent it, or, you know?
Sometimes people say lifestyle, but I don't know that that's really true.
Yeah.
Some people say it's not genetic, but then we've seen, you know, families where the mothers had it, the daughters has it.
Right.
You know, so
that's why the
it
research
really is very
dollars
unpredictable.
With the bike race, you're basically in that same limbo as we are, is that we can't early detect it and we don't know what causes it. So that's why he says keep up the fight, because we have to see it transformed. Right. You know, that we do want to know what's causing it. We want to know how can you early detect it. You know, I think a lot of these problems that we have going on in society today, health-wise, in the next, 15 to 20 years, God willing, we're going to see a lot. You're seeing, we will.
We're seeing a lot.
Yeah, we are too.
Oh, yeah.
We have 9 different forms of medications now. Where
great.
Before, we were in about 3 or none.
Like when I was diagnosed, there was nothing.
Yeah.
All there was steroids.
Wow.
And now 3 of those are pill form.
Great.
So that makes a huge difference.
Right. So the fundraising with people getting out, you said it's Friday, July 18th. Is that when?
Saturday.
Okay, Saturday, July 18th is the race then.
Yeah,
and then if people want to sign up for that race, how do they go about doing that?
They can go to our website at BikeMS.org, type in your zip code, Keystone Country Ride will come up, and join us there.
Wonderful.
It's an awesome ride. It's because it's. She said we get a lot of people from Pittsburgh. There's a reason.
All over.
Yeah, there's a reason. It's because it's not a boring ride. It's up and down, and it's
How many bikers total in the race?
On different years, it depends. Like last year, we had probably rode about 475. I think the year before we did like 575. But it depends. A lot of people set their vacations to it.
Yes.
A lot of people do that. So it depends. You're on an average, we're usually between 50 to 100 difference year after year, but typically it's been on the growth. So, and after 20 years, we're very fortunate.
How many MS patients like Tim, doing so well with the MS. How many do ride? How many? Do you know?
About 10.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know off the top of my head, but I do know that we've been trying to, between our Escape the Lake ride in Pittsburgh and the Keystone Country ride, we're doing a jersey that says, I ride with MS. So we're hoping by tracking and offering a jersey that they'll let us know.
Yeah.
Probably the Keystone Country ride, I would say.
We have 7 to 10.
Yeah.
I think I met 7 to 10 last year.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
And so, Tim, have you been training at the Y, of course?
Yes.
Yes, and that
yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday was actually the very first day I was able to get out on my real bike and get out and finally ride that way.
Pretty hot yesterday, too.
Yeah.
Well, I ride at 5 o'clock in the morning, too.
Because it was extremely warm, but we're not complaining.
No.
We're not
If you have MS, you are.
Yeah, I bet
Right.
you are. The heat does affect,
So the money that you raise, just to touch on that, we do air conditioners. We help people with their air conditioners.
Yes.
We help with cooling vests. There's about 80 different services that we provide.
That's wonderful.
And
that's where the fundraising dollars.
Right. And I'm excited to share that, and Tim and I have been talking, we're actually going to have a programs and service person out of the Duncansville office, hopefully by July 1st.
Great.
So what that means is locally, Pittsburgh, our team in Pittsburgh does a great job with our client services, but we're actually going to have somebody here to do it locally, and they'll be working more with Lake Blair and Center counties. Our goal is hopefully to mimic, we have a UPMC MS clinic in Pittsburgh. We'd like to get the UPMC here in Altoona, hopefully to step up and come on board with an MS clinic here, and maybe in Mount Nittany also.
That'd be great.
Which would be really awesome. So, that would be great. So truly, after all this time,
movement.
Movement.
And dreams being realized. That's
Yes.
good. That's the same with the pancreatic. We're starting to see a lot of good things happening too. But as the couple that was on prior to this segment, we all have to be soldiers in this. We have to keep up the fight and then keep on believing that we can keep on getting there, because there are days when you feel like, boy, I just want to give this up and not think about it, but you can't, because we do want to see a better world for our children, our grandchildren, in regards to MS, in regards to cancer, whether it's pancreatic or breast cancer, whatever the case may be.
Right.
That's how we want to see it evolve. So, in closing, what would you like to share with the audience? I'm thinking with you, Sharon, is how long have you been with the organization?
I'm going on my 11th year.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
That is wonderful.
And it's been wonderful in regards to it's a lot of work, it's a lot of time and dedication, but watching the excitement of making a difference.
Absolutely.
And doing something tangible in the communities.
It's great.
You know that it matters.
Absolutely.
So you keep your passion about the organization. You keep doing what you do because you're truly making a difference in the communities and the people's life that you touch.
Mm-hmm. And Tim, what would you like to share with the audience in closing?
Basically, I would want to thank the organization for all their support over the years. Sharon and I have become good friends because of it, and everyone in Pittsburgh for everything they do, and for all the people with MS out there. I say the same thing every time, and I'm going to say it again. Dig deep, find your strength within, and always take up the fight.
Amen. And on that note, that is a perfect note to end this hour show today. And I want to thank our audience for tuning in and to definitely look into participating in the MS bike race on Saturday, July 18th. And then our Griffith's Run and Gun dinner is Friday night, July 24th. And our basketball tournament at the Y, Saturday, July 25th. So again, we keep fighting together, and we believe there's no mountain too big that we cannot climb together. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Cathy. Thanks for your willingness to share.
Absolutely. We're on